All right, guys, welcome to factoring when A is not 1. We are in page 31 of your packet. Please get there, press pause, and get there. So example 1 is 3x squared plus 10x plus 8. I have pre-labeled what A, B, and C represent. I'm going to fill in my table, my x. Remember, it's A times C. 3 times 8 is 24, and B goes at the bottom. So what multiplies to 24 that also adds to 10? So we'll go over here and get our typical table. I will continue 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's probably good enough. Now remember, we are looking for factors that add to 10. So we cross out all of these. These are all positives, all right? So we know we're going to only deal with positive terms. 1 plus 24 is not 10. 2 plus 12 is not 10. 3 plus 8 is not 10. Winner, 4 plus 6 is 10. All right. We have found our match. So we will come over here and we will put 6 and 4. Now you have your x complete. We have done step 1. We have done step 2. We've done step 3. Now let me take you to our next step. Okay, remember the goal is to factor it using 2 sets of parentheses. Okay, so what I'm going to show you how to do what I'm going to show you how to do right now, that's weird, is let's fill in. We have 3x squared. We had 6x plus 4x and 8. Okay, notice what I did here. I took these and I wrote them here with an x, and then I just took 3x squared and took 8. Okay, so this is your box method broken up out of the box. All right, so here we go. Remember, the original was 3x squared plus, it combined like terms, 10x plus 8. Remember, that's the original problem. So we're going to go through this thinking logically. How do I make a 3x squared when I have 2 sets of parentheses? Well, the only way to make 3 divided by x, the only way to make 3 is 1 times 3. Okay, so 3x times x is the only way to multiply to get 3x squared. So what we're doing right now is we're building our box. One's a 3x and one's an x, and that gives me 3x squared. So far, so good. Now we're going to break up the 8. What multiplies to 8? Well, 2 times 4, 1 times 8. So you can just come over here. 2 times 4, 1 times 8. Well, I'm going to use 2 and 4. So again, we're doing the guess and check method. 2 and 4. Now you have to actually see if that works. We already know that 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, we already know that. So we're going to put the 3 with the 2 and the x with the 4. And let's see if we get 6x and 4x like we do. 2 times x is 2x. 3x times 4 is 12x. 12x and 2x do not add to 10. So what that tells me is I'm going to erase the 2 times 4. And I'm going to switch their places. Check this out. The 2 was first. Now I'm going to put the 4. The 4 was last. Now I'm going to put the 2. Now I'm going to put the 3x with the 4 and the x with the 2. Let's see if we get a 6x, a 4x that adds to 10x. Check this out. 4 times x is 4x. 3x times 2 is 6x. Now 4 times 2 is 8. We have our factored form. We are done. So this is the guess and check method using our box method. We're going to guess what makes 8 is 2 times 4. And we figured it out. We've tried 2 and 4 and that didn't work. So we swapped to 4 and 2. Now, if that didn't work, we would have went to 1 times 8. But we have found our match. Okay. Now let's do example 2. It's a little more challenging. We have 2x squared minus x minus 28. So remember, we're going to take a times c, 2 times negative 28. Just type it in. 2 times negative 28 is negative 56. And it has to add to negative 1. Goodness gracious. So what is negative 56 divided by x? Change it to a table. Okay, remember it has to add to negative 1. So I'm going to have to make my table way longer. There it is. 7 and negative 8 add to negative 1. And you can test it right here. Right there. 7 plus a negative 8 add to negative 1. 7 times negative 8 multiplied to negative 56. So now I know it's a positive 7 and a negative 8. Now, when you put this back in your 4 spots, notice there's a minus. That's where I'm going to put my negative 8x. This is where we're going to put a 7x. Okay, only these two go down there. Now, we take the original 2x squared and put that back here, and the original minus 28 and put that here. Now we have our 4 terms that were in the box. So remember, now let's get our guess and check method ready to go. All right. We got to move that out the way. Okay, so we're going to think logically. What multiplies to 2x squared? 2x times x. That's the only way to multiply to get 2x squared. 2x times x is 2x squared. So you're going to start with the first term. That's the a. Then you're going to start with the last term. That's the c. What multiplies to negative 28? So if you need to come back in here and do negative 28 to give you options, okay? There's a lot, right? So I'm going to try. What about 4 and negative 7? 4 times negative 7 multiplies to negative 28. So I'm going to put the 2x with the 4 and the x with the negative 7. So now that makes 4x. That makes negative 14x. Nope. We need a 7x inside the box and a negative 8x inside the box. So that doesn't work. Try a different combination. Switch them. Let's just switch them. Negative 7 and 4. Now that gives me 8x and negative 7x and negative 28. Wow, okay, we're so close. I notice I need a positive 7 and a negative 8. So all I'm going to do is just switch the sign. A negative 4 would make then a negative 8. So I need a negative 4 and a positive 7. That is how we factor when x is not 1. Okay, the last two that I'm going to go over on this video are perfect squares. Perfect squares to me are like awesome. This is a difference of perfect squares because of the subtraction signs. This is a difference of two perfect squares. So remember the definition of perfect square? It's the same number times the same number. It's the same letter times the same letter. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my pillar, think logically. And how do I break up a 4x squared where it's the same on each parenthesis? Here's all your perfect squares in case you were wondering. And 4 is right there. Well, the way I break up a 4 is 2 times 2. That's the same number repeated. Then the way I break up an x squared is an x times an x. So that's a perfect square. 4 is 2 times 2. X squared is x times x. That's a perfect square. Now, how do I break up the 9? Well, the only way to multiply to make 9, remember, here is the perfect square right there. 9 is 3 times 3. That's 9. But the thing is, it wants to have a negative 9. And the only way to multiply to make a negative is 1's negative while 1 is positive. Remember, you're going to check your answers on Desmos. 4x to the power of 2 minus 9. There's your parabola. There's your quadratic. The factored version is 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 3. And those two match. And there you have it. The difference of perfect squares, you don't have to do your x because it's just breaking it up in equal perfect square pieces. If it's a difference of perfect squares, one's a negative, one's a positive. And that's a rule. It'll follow that rule the whole time. Now this is a different perfect square because this is not the difference, because difference means subtraction. This is called a perfect square trinomial. You've heard those words before. And how we do, you don't need an X method on this either. That's why I love when they give me perfect squares. We're going to go back. How do I break up a 4x squared? Because 4 is a perfect square. Well, again, it's the same like the other one. 2x times 2x. Okay, next, 25 is another perfect square. That's why this is a perfect square trinomial, because the A is a perfect square, the C is a perfect square. Okay, A and C are perfect squares. You're going to use this strategy. So what multiplies to 25? It's the same number times the same number. Yeah, that's right, 5. Now, since it's a positive 25, I have to look at the sign of this guy. If that's positive, you will use 2 positives. If that was a negative 20x, then your sign would be 2 negatives. And think about it. Thinking logically, think about it. A negative 5 times a negative 5 is also a positive 25. A positive 5 times a positive 5 is still a positive 25. Remember, our goal is to get the middle term. And remember, the middle term is the outer times the inner. The outer and the inner multiplied, then we add like terms. Not the outer times the inner, but the outer times the outer and the inner times the inner, add like terms. All right, let me erase the one that doesn't apply to this problem. All right, so if we're using our box method, we know that 2x times 2x is 4x squared. We know that 5 times 5 is 25. And we know that 5 times 2x is 10x. 2x times 5 is 10x, and 10x plus another 10x is how we get positive 20x. Now, your STAR test will simplify because this is the same 2x plus 5 multiplied by 2x plus 5. So the final answer will be written as 1 binomial squared. And then, of course, you're going to check your work. X squared plus 20x plus 25. We got 2x. Notice those are two different quadratics. So let's change it to 2x plus 5. Now they're getting closer. And 2x plus 5. And there you have it. They match up. When I unhighlight the red, I see the black. When I highlight the red, I see the red. Thanks for watching.